Hi everybody, welcome back on Study Room, and today we are going to do Sustainable Development and Resource Planning. This is a new topic in chapter 1 as we have already done the classification of resources, and now we are going to study about sustainable development and resource planning. So first of all, we have to understand what is development of resources. The development and equitable distribution. Equitable distribution means when the resources are distributed equally amongst different stakeholders. Can help deal with the major issues caused by indiscriminate use of resources. And the major issues include, what is indiscriminate use of resources? When anybody can utilize the resources extensively without control, law and order and your supervision. Without supervision, when things are done, it is referred to as indiscriminate utilization. First one was a depletion of resources. Depletion refers to when you exploit the resources that they reduce in number. So that is referred to as depletion. Depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of a few individuals. Accumulation of resources. The second thing is people not only utilize it but collect it for themselves. That is called accumulation of resources, which in turn divides the society into two segments, that is haves and have not. So you can see there begins a wide disparity between rich and poor individuals. Alright, or rich or poor. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources, like without any supervision, they are extensively exploiting the resources, have led to global ecological crises such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. Alright. So why do we need to equitable distribution of these resources? Why do we really need to equitably distribute resources? If the present trend of resource depletion by a few individuals and countries continues, the future of our planet is in danger. We are all in danger because a few peoples are acting on their greed instead of thinking about other people, the future generation. Therefore, resource planning is essential for sustainable quality of life so that people can live and continue to live with the availability of resources and global peace. Because if something is low in number, something is very rare, people would fight for it. This would create chaos and anarchy in our country. So for global peace, we want abundance of resources. Sustainable existence is a component of sustainable development. What is sustainable development here? Using resources, keeping in mind the needs of future generation is referred to as sustainable existence, sustainable development. So sustainable existence is a component of sustainable development. Equitable distribution of resources provide equal access of these resources for all sections of society. Everybody can utilize the resources as they want, but they should not act upon their greed. Instead, they should act upon their needs. It prevents the division of society and accumulation of resources. So you do not have to accumulate resources and there is no rich and poor. Everybody is kind of equal to each other, and also helps to maintain the continuous flow of resources so that you are continuously utilizing the resource, ensuring everyone can access these resources. Alright. What is sustainable development? As I've already discussed, but let us go through these slides. Sustainable economic development is the idea that development should take place without damaging the environment. You should not damage the environment. Instead, live with it, utilize it, and help it to replenish itself. It also means development in the present should not compromise with the needs of future generation. That refers to utilizing the resources so that the needs of future generations are met. Alright, keeping in mind the needs of future generation. Sustainable development is the idea that human societies must live and meet their needs. Alright, without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So they should act upon their needs, not their greeds. Now is the question, if the oil supply gets exhausted one day all the oil in the earth gets exhausted, how would this affect our lifestyle? Definitely you need oil for food, vehicle and what not. Oil is very essential element without because it helps in enabling the transportation sectors, and if we cannot travel from one place to another, this would heavily affect us. We cannot even go to hospitals and all. So this is very important. Do the people in your neighborhood recycle waste? This is a very personal question you should be asking yourself. Do you yourself recycle waste? Do they use resource carefully? Ask yourself first. Do you use them? Or sometimes you keep the electricity switch on and you leave the room. You have to take care of yourself first. Provide example to support your answer. You have to substantiate your answer, and it is very personal and subjective, and you all should be answering this by yourself, as well as you can also write the example of your neighbor. Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit 1992. It is very important from the exam point of view because always they ask when did Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit, that is in Brazil. Alright, when it did happen. So you have to tell it in the year 1992. So in June 1992, over 100 heads of states. So there are few features that might come and might not come for long answers, but you should know what happened in this summit. But this thing is very important. Like this line is important and when it happened. So in June 92, one of the more than 100 heads of states in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil met for the first International Earth Summit. It was the first international. The summit was convened for addressing urgent problems of environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. Alright, this assembled leaders signed the declaration. What did they sign? The Declaration on Global Climatic Change and Biological Diversity. And it was very famous. Like it became really famous and everybody was talking about the first Earth Summit because the first time people were very concerned about the environment. The Rio Convention endorsed the Global Forest Principle. What did they endorse? What they initiated? What they promoted? That was Global Forest Principles and adopted Agenda 21. That is very important. What they adopted? Agenda 21. For achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. So, in the 21st century, they adopted Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development. What is Agenda 21? I've already told you how important it is. It is a declaration signed by world leaders in 1992 at the UNCED. What is UNCED? United Nations Conference on Environment and Development at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. What is the aim of this Agenda 21? It was achieving a global sustainable development. It is a plan to combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation and on common interests, mutual needs and shared responsibilities. They will come together and they will fight what is harming their earth. They will contribute together for the sustainable development. Objective was every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. Everybody should assign 21 principles they would be working for in order to promote sustainable development. Alright. Now what is resource planning? Because we have to study resource planning and sustainable development together. Planning is a widely accepted strategy for judicious use of resources. How you utilize it. how well prudentially you utilize it. It has importance in a country like India, which has enormous diversity in the availability of resources. So some states have a variety of resources, but some states have lack of resources. But we are a very big country and we have to work together. So there are regions which are rich in certain types of resources but are deficient in some other resources. What do you mean by deficient? That they lack some resources. There are deficient means absence. Alright. So there are some regions which can be considered self-sufficient so that they can work on their own because they have variety of resources in terms of availability of resources. And there are some regions which have acute shortage of some vital. What do you mean by vital? Important resources. Alright, we have understood what the resource planning is, what is the judicious use of resources. And here is why resource planning is essential in India. The states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh are rich in mineral and coal deposits. Arunachal Pradesh has abundance of water resources but lacks infrastructural development. Alright, state of Rajasthan is very well endowed with solar and wind energy but lacks water resources. So some are dependent upon each other. So the cold deserts of Ladakh is relatively isolated. Isolated means people don't usually live here from the rest of the country, and it is alienated. You can say isolated. The synonym of isolation is alienated. It has very rich cultural heritage, but it is deficient in water. So everywhere it is ice and ice and ice. Ice, alright, the water is frozen over there. Infrastructure and some vital minerals. Vital means important minerals are not there. This calls for balanced resource planning so that everybody gets essential things amongst each other. Every resource distribution is done, alright, at the national, state, regional and local levels. So people are helping each other. Prepare a list of resources found in your state and also identify the resources that are important but deficit in your state. So this is very subjective. It might happen that some of you would say we have alluvial soil, but what we lack? What we lack? We might lack mineral resources. So you should be living in, I'm talking about northern plains here. The states in northern plains mean majorly UP. So you lack mineral resources, but you have alluvial soil. So in this way, you can make the list for your state. What is resource planning in India? Resource planning is a complex process and includes strategical divide, which involves the following. First one is identification and inventory. First of all, you have to identify which resources in which part of the country. Identification and inventory of resources across the regions of the country. This involves surveying, mapping, qualitative, quantitative estimation and measurement of the resources. So they have to firstly measure how things go about. Alright. Evolving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology, skill and institutional setup for implementing resource development plans. So first of all, they have to implant planning structure for it. They have to enable various advanced technologies for it. Human skill is needed. Different institutions should be set up. So they would determine what resources and how these resources can be judiciously used. So these all things are done. That is how we call planning. Matching the resource development plans with overall national development plans. So the development plan you are planning for a resource should be in the national interest. Alright, what nation wants, what the entire nation desirability is should be kept in mind while planning the resource development plans. So India has made concerted efforts for achieving the goals of resource planning right from the first 5-year plan. So right from the beginning of when we discovered our country, when we had the discovery of India, right after the independence, from the first 5-year plan, we were very determined to utilize our resources properly. So the availability of resources necessary for development of any region. You should have resources in order to exploit it. But along with resources, there is also a need for corresponding changes in technology. You should be having advanced technologies and institutions. Institutions, what do institution does? Institutions employs people and people harness the energy that is in the resource. Alright, so there are many regions in our country that are rich in resources, but these are economically backward regions. Though they are very rich in resources, they have all kind of resources, but economically, because the resources are not utilized up to the mark, the people living there are still very poor. There are also some regions which have a poor resource base, but they're economically developed. But you can say there are states which have plenty, which do not have resources, sufficient resources, but still they are doing very well in their behalf. Can you name, now here is the question for you all, that question is brainstorming. So can you name some resource rich but economically backward regions and some resource poor but economically developed regions as we have discussed right now? Give reasons for such a situation. Like you can take example of Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh and all. So these are the states which have variety of resources, but they are still economically poor because the planning is not very well and the execution of the plan is not very well. So definitely the government drawback is there. And then we have areas which have, Punjab do not have mineral resource. Alright, Punjab, Haryana do not have those mineral resources, unlike Odisha and Chhattisgarh, but they're still very well off in the economic region. Alright, because they have used what is there with them. They have used HYV seeds, that is high yielding variety seeds, fertilizer, rain evolution, has made them a top notch state in the field of economically development. Now we have India's rich resources were the main attraction for foreign invaders and colonizers. We are talking about the ancient India. So how we were very resource rich and people attacked us and took away, looted our resources. It was due to the higher level of technological development of the colonizing countries that they were able to exploit resources. But because they had good human resource, that means their IT sector, that information technology sector was well developed, they could utilize our resources and establish their supremacy over the colonies. And they took over our resources and started exploiting us and became our supervisors. Resources can contribute to the development only when they are accompanied by appropriate technological development. So without technology, without software knowledge or information technology, you cannot utilize the resources perfectly. And institutional changes. So therefore, in India, development in general and resource development in particular does not only involve the availability of resource, you should have resource, alright, but also the technology, quality of human resources, that people should have the technology, the intelligence to exploit or to utilize the resources really well, and the historical experience of the people, so that we have a cultural and historical experience of our people that tells us how others can supervise you or can have supremacy over you if you do not utilize your resources yourself. Alright, technology is evolving so rapidly. So this is how things are happening right now. Conservation of resources. We should be conserving our resources. How this could be done? Irrational consumption and overutilization of resources. How people are, without thinking, they are consuming resources and they're overutilizing the resources. That would lead to socio-economic and environmental problems, as they could not replenish and they could deplete. Resource conservation is important at various levels. This was the main concern of the leaders and thinkers in the past. Mahatma Gandhi said, there is everything for everybody's need, but not for everybody's greed. Alright? So Gandhiji blamed greedy and selfish individuals and the exploitative nature of modern technology for resource development at a global level. People are overutilizing the resources nowadays and he criticized them. He was against mass productions by machines and wanted to replace it with the production by the masses, so that people together should produce more instead of producing it by machines, because this would generate employment as well. At the international level, the Club of Rome advocated resource conservation for the first time in a more systematic way in 1968. Who did what? Club of Rome did resource conservation in the year 1968. 1974 again, Gandhian philosophy was once again presented by Schumacher in his book Small is Beautiful. And this book is very famous. This would definitely come. So the seminal contribution with respect to resource conservation at the global level was made by the Brundtland Commission report, which was very important. Brundtland Commission report is very important. In which year it came? 1987. This report introduced the concept of sustainable development as means for resource conservation. How can you conserve resources? By sustainable development, keeping in mind the needs of future generation, which was subsequently published in a book entitled Our Common Future. Another significant contribution was made at the Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 1992. We have already discussed about it in great detail. Agenda 21 as well is discussed. Alright everybody, so today we discussed about resource conservation and resource planning. We have discussed about Brundtland report. We have discussed about Rio de Janeiro, Brazil first Earth Summit. And these are all the things that you have to remember for your exam point of view as well as conceptual clarity. And we will meet again in the next video. Till then, take care, stay safe.